All right, man. Another week. How was it down in Baylor?
It was definitely hot to start out. One of the hottest, most humid games I've ever played in, to tell you the truth. We got out there and it didn't seem that bad when we got off the plane, but the next day when we got to the game, it was really humid. And it was a little shell shock through the warm-up, but after we came out, went back in the locker room, came back out, and started cooling down. A storm rolled through, and it seemed like we were back in Lawrence, to tell you the truth, the way the weather was there.
It's kind of debating, who's it tougher on when you get those long delays, and for alignment, I think that would be the toughest because that's a pretty physical position. You got to be pretty amped for. Would you agree with that, or?
Yeah, it kind of takes you out of the game a little bit. We were ready to roll after about 30 minutes. Once the rain delay, we were getting ready to roll out, and they came back in and said, "You guys are another 15 minutes," and then just kept moving that longer and longer. So it's kind of tough on us just to get back into the mentality of, hey, we're getting ready to go out. We got to be just as good as we were the first half and keep rolling things through. And that is definitely a tough thing to keep going through a long rain delay.
I was asking some of the running backs about who was the toughest guys you have to run against. Now, maybe that's the wrong guys to talk to because you guys up front do most of the dirty work. So, who is the toughest team front seven you had to face so far?
The toughest front seven that we faced so far, I want to say Oklahoma had the most stout defensive line in regards to size, and it was harder to move them. But I think South Dakota State and Oklahoma State, just because of how much movement they had and just had everyone having to be on track. Even though we had a lot of success with it, with our offense, we just all the movement, and then they were tougher teams to go against, I thought.
That's interesting. What do you know about Texas Tech?
Texas Tech they have really good interior defensive linemen. They're going to run a 4 down front, which is what we've seen most of the year, and they pretty much just come straight at you. They're going to play us just like Oklahoma did.
Is that tough? I mean, just man on man, or do you prefer it like that?
I mean, it changes your whole mentality of running the offense, but I definitely prefer running one-on-one against guys knowing that they're not going to move, so then we can perfect everything that we do on the field during the week, so then we shouldn't expect that many wrinkles on the defense when we go out there, as opposed to, say, at Texas, where we get out there and they're running a completely different defense you've never even seen before, and you got to adjust on the field.
I was asking Tanner this last week, but a lot of us aren't in the game. We just assume that run blocking and pass blocking is all the same. If you can do one, you can do the other. What's the difference?
I think it's completely different. Yeah. We were with Mangino, we were just a passing team, and then when Coach Gill came in, he wanted to change our mentality. And I felt like it takes time to switch from an offensive, passing team to a run team. I mean, for whatever reason, you have to relearn techniques, steps. Working with the guys next to you is huge, especially in the run game. In the pass game, it's, okay, we have these 3 guys, the 3 of us have these 3. And you can gain the camaraderie faster with the pass game, I think, just because the communication is before the pass. As to in a run blocking, a lot of the communication is nonverbal, and it's more of, I got to trust the guy next to me. I'm going to know what he's going to do, and then if he does something, I have to know how to react to his movements and stuff like that. And that comes with playing with the guys next to you for a while.
I know this may be a bit premature, and I understand if you're not even thinking about anything like this, but the coach, obviously, as a senior and getting towards the end of this schedule, you start having any talks about what you kind of need to do to get to that next level yet, or does that ever come up? Or I know they have a lot of scouts in here.
It hasn't come up as much as it is going to in the future, to tell you the truth. I've thought about it in the back of my mind, but truthfully, right now I'm just trying to take it week by week and play each game as it comes so I can give my full attention to football and then as well as school. But it is definitely something that's in the back of my mind and something that I'm going to have to start talking to coaches with a little bit more to know, hey, what can I do and what is my options coming up here.
You said you haven't talked about it yet, but having a guy like Coach Grunhardt's got to help, right?
Absolutely. He's just got a wealth of knowledge and especially connections, so he'll be able to help out a lot in that regard. So, and he's been a really good mentor, just giving advice with a bunch of football aspects.
Has he made you a Chiefs fan yet, or?
No, not yet. We don't really talk about that that much. Just giving a lot of little technique things that you would never even think about. Wet ball, what do you do with the wet ball? Where do you place your hands on the ball? With thumb placement, just crazy stuff you would never even think of. So he's definitely helped out a lot.